What is a credit card? Sounds like a simple question, right? But let me tell you something. That little rectangular piece of plastic has caused more chaos than a storm in a cheese factory. And if you think you already know everything about it, just wait until you hear what I found out. It all started when Max, was strolling through the Mouse City Mall. I wasn't planning to buy anything, just window shopping, I swear. But then I saw it. A shiny new store with a glowing sign that said, "Buy now, pay later. Crit cards accepted." Credit cards. It sounded like magic. I walked in, and there it was. The most beautiful display I'd ever seen. A golden watch with a Swiss cheese dial. It was perfect. I walked up to the cashier, holding my humble little coin. And that's when he said, "Sir Max, you can use a credit card and pay later." "Wait, what?" he explained. You take it home today. Pay for it later in small monthly payments." It felt like a miracle. I can take it home now, even if I don't have all the money. Exactly. I left that store with the watch on my wrist and a big smile on my face. But what I didn't know is that I also walked out with debt and with an invisible enemy called interest. That night, I sat down to figure things out. What exactly is a credit card? That's when it hit me. A credit card is like a loan wearing a fancy disguise. Every time you swipe it, you're borrowing money from the bank. But here's the trick. You don't see the money leave your account right away, and that tricks your brain. It makes you feel like everything's fine, but it's not. Little by little, what seemed like just $20 here, $30, there becomes a snowball. And if you don't pay it all by the due date, interest shows up to the party. And trust me, they don't just nibble at your cheese. They devour it. The credit card itself isn't the villain. It's just a tool. But in the wrong hands, it turns into a golden mousetrap. You feel like you're in control, but actually, the system is controlling you. In Mouse City, credit cards became a status symbol. Good. Look at my limit. Look at my monthly payments. But no one talks about the trap behind the shine. That's what I want you to understand. A credit card is not extra money. It's disguised debt. If you don't use it wisely, it will pull you into a cycle that looks easy to escape, but tightens like a cheese snare. The scary part? That's exactly how they want you to think, because the less you understand, the more you'll pay. And once you realize that, you'll never look at a piece of plastic the same way again. They gave me a limit, a shiny number. You can spend up to this max. And I, all excited, started using it. I bought a brand new cheese-colored recliner. I signed up for 3 gourmet cheese streaming services. I paid for a romantic dinner with fondue and Parmesan petals. Everything seemed fine. After all, the bill hadn't come yet. But what I didn't realize is that I was playing with fire, or worse, with revolving interest. When the bill finally arrived, I looked at the total. It stung, but I could pay it. Then I saw something at the bottom, in tiny print. Minimum payment, only $89. Just that. I thought, if it's the minimum, I guess it's safe. That's when I stepped into the trap. The truth is, the minimum payment is a brilliantly designed trick. It makes you feel responsible, like you're doing the right thing. But underneath, interest is multiplying in the shadows. You pay $89. But the real debt barely shrinks. Next month, you pay again, and the balance still there. Still growing. It's like trying to empty a leaky bucket with a teaspoon. Why do banks do this? Because the longer you take to pay, the more they make. They don't profit when you pay in full. They profit when you're confused, when you delay. When you swipe without thinking, they hope you split your payments into 12 months. Hope you forget one due date. Hope you stay busy and distracted. It's a game. And in the credit game, if you don't know the rules, you lose. That's when I decided to flip the game board. First, I understood that a credit card is a tool, not a gift. If I use it smartly, it works for me. It gives me time, safety, even rewards. But if I use it recklessly, it becomes a cage. Second, I stopped following the other mice. Just because everyone's swiping and splitting and bragging about limits doesn't mean it's wise. I started paying my balance in full. Stopped buying things I couldn't afford in cash. And most importantly, I stopped using my credit card to fill emotional gaps. Was it hard? Go. Yes, because credit feels easy. Debt feels like freedom. But the cost of freedom, when you don't read the fine print, is heavy. I began to ask different questions. Not can I afford the monthly payment, but is this something I would still buy if I had to pay full right now? That question alone saved me from dozens of bad purchases. Today, I still use my credit card, but it doesn't use me. I swipe, I pay, and if I can't afford it, I wait, because real freedom isn't having a high limit. It's having the power to say no. And you know what's funny? Once I got disciplined, the bank raised my limit. They saw me as more responsible. But I smiled, because now I don't need it. You know that feeling when something clicks in your brain? Like you suddenly see things for what they really are. That's how I felt when I stopped chasing the limit and started chasing clarity. The watch I bought with my first credit card. It's sitting in a drawer now. I barely wear it. But those monthly payments, oh, they stuck around. 4 months. That's what credit does. It gives you instant joy and delayed consequences. But I started to flip that. Now I aim for delayed joy and instant clarity. If I don't have the money today, I wait. If it's not a true need, I pass. And if I do swipe, I already have the money set aside. The credit card is no longer a temptation. It's a tool I've trained, and it feels good. Not because I'm rich, but because I'm in control, and that is priceless. You don't need to cut your card in half. You just need to wake up. Pay attention to how you feel when you spend. Notice if you're buying to impress, to escape, or to fill a void. Because the cheese is everywhere. And if you're not careful, you end up feeding someone else's profit. But if you've watched this far, I know something about you. You're curious, you want to be smarter with your money, and you're ready to build a future with less debt and a whole lot more cheese. So, do one thing now that's completely free. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, what was the worst thing you ever bought with a credit card? And what did you learn from it? I'm Max, your financially curious cartoon mouse, and I'll be here every week, turning complex money stuff into cheesy, bite-sized lessons. Until next time, keep your paws on your budget and your cheese where you can see it.